Hello folks, welcome back to Feldy, Farming Simulator 2011. Map made by Farmer Yip, and yep, it's an old game. So let's cycle out to the harvest. Oh wait, first, before I do that, let me set my timer. 30 minutes, thank you for the timer, Eustace Farmer. That'll tell me when to quit boring people. How to cycle out. Let's go through some of our machines. I mentioned in the last video that I've been doing some work in the map, and so it means I've had to redo some of this harvest here, but I think this is approximately where I left off. So I'm going to get him going and see if... let me see here. He's on a course. Will he head straight ahead is a question. No, he's not. Alright, let me get him going. Let me go ahead and we'll see if I can hire. No. Why? Okay, we are having trouble right off the bat, folks. 320. Is that approximately the right angle, or was it 315? Can't really tell. I'm trying to have... yeah, I think he's tweaked a little bit. Alright, I'll take him to 315. It can be really ticklish in these older versions of the game. Oh no, is that too much? Yeah, maybe that's about right. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and delete my course. I think I just hold 9 down for a little bit. And now we'll try it again. There we go. Oh, this is going to be off a little bit. I'm going to leave some stanglies on the edge of the field. Anyway, it is what it is. I don't think the hired help in these older versions was quite as smart as it is in the newer version. Let's briefly go see what our mission is. So I'm going to hop out of the game and we'll come to Farmer Yip's handy map manual, where here he says mission number 1, we are still working on the biofuel plant. We harvested some maize or corn, and we have well more than 1,000 in there. We're now in the process of harvesting canola. We should have plenty of canola in there as well, but I want to make plenty of biofuel. We need at least 500, and maybe we even have it now. I'd have to check over there, but we need 2,000 in storage in order to open access to Sheep Hill. And we have to maintain the quantities in there or else the gate will go shut. And that's not a position we'd like to be in. So we're going to make some biofuel. And then, of course, it isn't just so much holding biofuel in inventory. That's kind of the bare minimum that we need. We're going to be using this to pump water and various other things as well. So let me return to the game. Alright. He screwed up on the far end. Yeah, I think he ran out of... oh, it is so ticklish in this game. Trying to get the angle right. He ran out of cutting area. So he just bit in kind of where he wanted. So let me check this here. You have harvesting a field number 35, which we can see on the map. That's actually Farmer Yip's numbers. In this version of the game, back in the day, I don't think the Giants numbered any of their fields. Maybe the mappers did kind of on their own inside the editor. But I don't think we had notations on the map that said what field number you were in. So, and we own all the fields anyway, so it isn't, but it's useful kind of as a frame of reference. But we're in field number 35, so let me see here. I think if we go to this screen, then page, oh, maybe it's 9. I want to see, this is Dosh. I am still very curious about Dosh. Canola, corn. Oh, so we only have a small amount of canola in storage. So that's what we're working on now. We have plenty of corn, but we're trying to build up the canola inventory till we can get it to crank out some more biofuel. And I'm kind of curious, how much do we have in storage? And maybe, you know what, we're probably not going to have it in here, so maybe it's next section. Yeah, this is selling. Let me go down. Biofuel. Well, would you look at that? We have apparently 4,000 in there, so that is over the 2,000 required. So I think that means... Oh yeah, we had him up here planting. We'll come back to him in a moment. Okay, let's head on up to, we'll just take our little Land Rover here, whatever it's called, and we'll head on up to the sheep area. And I know there's kind of a sheep area close by here. You know, I noticed something here the other day. Look at that sheep kind of directly ahead, right by the head of this. He's trying to get back in the pen. That's just like a sheep to do. Out of the pen, wants to get in by his cronies. But anyway, we'll head up to the main area. This is kind of just an ancillary pasture, if you will, for the sheep. The main area that we're going to see up here. If the map is working the way Farmer Yip said it would, then since we have 4,000 liters of biofuel, we should be able to access the sheep area. And we're going to head on up there to do it. But someone left me a comment on a video. They said that this Land Rover sounded more like a tractor versus what a Land Rover sounds like. And you know what? I mean, you could be right. I'm not familiar with Land Rovers. I have no idea what they sound like. All I know is that the sound on this one probably isn't the one that was given to it in game. So if someone has a better Land Rover sound, send it my way. I don't know how hard it is to make your own. And sure enough, look at that. The gate is open, so we now have full access to our sheep. So now we're allowed to come up in here. Isn't that pretty cool? Just programmed it into the map. And so, yeah, these are all static sheep. We'll need to figure out kind of how everything up here works. I think this is where you get the wool out, somewhere in there. So we're going to need to feed them if we want to have them produce anything. Matter of fact, let's just go look at that real quick. We can zip back out to here. Now that we've completed this, let me go down and see what Mission 2 is. Mission 2, Sheep Hill. Tip the following into the sheep feeding trough up on the sheep hill. Feed stuff, that is red clover or peas, and water. Water's from the water pump. Water pump requires biofuel to operate. Okay, well, we're making some biofuel, so I'm going to need a way to haul the biofuel kind of up to the water pump. And when we put this in there, apparently it produces 500 of fleece. And when we have 5,000 in storage, it opens access to Kelp Island. Right. Okay, so after, in order to harvest red clover or peas, we do have a windrower. So I know we can go out to any of those fields, we can windrow them, and the red clover, I think, regrows. The peas doesn't regrow, we'd have to replant it. So I know we have a feed for them. We can get water with biofuel. The question is how do you pick up the material? And I almost think I need a forage harvester of some kind to pick it up off the ground. So that's what we're tasked with doing. We got to do this at least 10 times. So we're going to need how much biofuel? Now this is water. Water pump requires... Yeah, I'm not sure how much biofuel it takes to bring out water, so I'm going to need a Bowser or whatever you call that to haul the water and the biofuel. I think Yip has one of those. And maybe I can use this Land Rover to haul that around. And then I'm going to need to figure out a way to get this. So I think I probably still can't get it. I could get started windrowing it maybe. But what I can't really do at the moment, I don't think I have equipment to pick it up. And so I'm going to need to get that. So let me hop back in game. We'll see kind of how things... Oh, you can hear the sheep. Let's just leave the Land Rover up here for the Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Because if I screw up, he's stuck. So let me at least get him outside the gate. That's at least what I'm going to do. Because I want to make sure I have access to the machine. Alright, I'm going to leave him there. Let's go back. Oh, the combine is working away. Looks like he has one more pass. Alright. Well, speaking of this fellow here, you may recall we kind of boot-heeled in a crop of corn. So, and then up here at the top, we put in a field of canola. Or at least that's what the hope was. And you know something? Look how quickly that has grown. I know in the last video I talked about growth times, and it is very fast in this map. Now, I'm tempted to just plant another field while I'm at it. But I think I'm going to hold off on planting. My funds are really limited at the moment. I have $417. So what I really need to do is harvest some cash crops, get them sold. So, and that's probably going to be wheat and barley. I know some of those are used for other crops in the map too, but maybe what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this back here to the main farm, and I'm going to pick up a cultivator. Oh, here's the stream in game. How do you guys think that looks? Does that look somewhat like a normal stream? Or does that just look like a conveyor belt? Those rocks look like they're kind of just sitting there in mid-space. I think if we were out of the tractor, we would hear it. Maybe it's on the other side of it. Oh, that ain't good. You can kind of see you can see down on the over the edge. Yeah, it's very best one viewed from the top. Oh, and there's the sound of the map maker, Farmer Yip. Yes, Farmer Yip, we are out there farming. Anyway, I'll take this back to the main farm, and I'm going to try to find the cultivator. I thought I saw one up here somewhere. This here I'm going to put back. I know another bit of modding work I really need to do is to do something about this camera. These roads are so bumpy, and every jolt of the machine just tosses you up and down, and yeah. It'd be nice to flatten that out a little bit, kind of how it is in later versions. It must be something we just all got used to, you know, when we played this version back in the day. So I'm going to drop this here, and we'll pick up our cultivator. And we are going to head down over the hill. Really, it'd probably be best to bring all or both pieces of equipment down here, because I'm going to head down to the field to at the areas where I'm harvesting. We're going to need to rip it out and replant. And you know, in these older versions of the game, yeah, I see the camera's just walking all over with me. In the older versions of the game, we didn't have such a thing as seasons. And like we already observed, that little canola field up there that I planted, it's already sprouted, already growing. Probably be ready to harvest here before too long. And And so you didn't really have anything that suggested something like seasons. And so I know, looking back on these older games, I've wondered if the way you get seasons is kind of to force it by just doing it yourself and don't replant right away. Just harvest what you have and then do everything all at once. So maybe that's the approach we'll take here. Now that we got this out here in the field, you know I got a little bit of other... Let me get him down there. I got a couple other little spots. Oh, no, I didn't want to harm him. Here we go. Oh, I'm going too fast, he says. That's right, in these older versions of the game, if you were going too fast, it didn't limit you. It would just tell you. And in certain instances, it'll unattach things for you. You know, very realistic, of course, where you lose your cultivator in the field because of things you're driving too fast or whatever. It's kind of silly, but that's how they did it back here. Here and harvest this. Oops. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. At least with the combine, it doesn't unattach your header. Oh, I still got one other little spot. Alright, that's pretty well a wrap. Put out my auger, and we are done with canola. That should give us to develop a little biofuel, and I think these fields here we're going to turn right around and put them back into corn and canola. Let me see here. This is kind of like I mentioned, we're going to do some of our cash crops now, and I'm wondering, do I need to do any straw? And I don't have a baler at the moment, at least not that I'm aware of, so maybe let's just take a moment in the store, and I want to see, actually let me look at the mods. This farmer, yep, has his own slate of mods for this, which we'll get that down here too. I have several mods. Here we go. Yep, baler, 95,000. Does this tell you if you already have one? I don't know that it does. But I suppose if you did, you would see it over here as being available to sell. So here's a Bowser. I know I'm going to need to add, but I have a whopping $373. That isn't exactly enough to buy even a Bowser. So I need to get in and do some harvesting of wheat and whatnot and some other cash crops to be able to afford things. Yeah, here lights up sell if you have it. So no, we don't. Here's the pickup that I think we need for the forage wagon to actually forage wagon. Now that I think about that, maybe all I need is a forage wagon. I don't know if he has a separated, you know, here if you get a harvester, that's quite expensive, 145,000 plus the header, another 45, that's 180 total. So I already have those. I have a cultivator, don't need this yet. Maybe there is a forage trainer here. Oh, this is probably pulled by this. So yeah, I flat out need to make some money. That's just the long and the short of it. So I suppose I could make or get a mod and then work on it so that it would hold some of these other crops, but probably I'm best sticking with what Farmer Yip has in here. So basically, in order to get something for the sheep to eat, I need 3 machines. I need this, which is the pickup, to be able to pick up the windrow that it's going to be put down. I need this, the forager, to attach the header to, and then as a trailer, I need the forage trailer to be able to hold the red clover and peas and whatnot that I'm cutting. So that's another 45,000. What was it before? 180. So I'm over 200,000 that I need to get. So I need to get busy, I think, harvesting some of these other crops here. So actually, I'm getting low on fuel. Well, I still got enough time, I guess. Oh, and I forgot to look. Do I have... Let me see. How much was the baler? There's a Yip baler, 95,000. Interesting. It'll let you bale up red clover and peas. Okay, so this may simply take a little while, but I don't have a baler currently, so I think what I'm gonna do to make it a little easier is I'm not going to be baling up any of the crop. And I don't have a mod in here with which to rent a baler or that kind of thing, so I'm going to have to just chop it. So let me see what's... do I have the ability to chop it? Get rid of my course. Maybe it just dumps it out in a windrow, whether I like it or not. Oh, look at that. It's putting it in a windrow. Interesting. You know, I may not have any choice in the matter. That may be just the way it is. And the windrow will fall out. Actually, it's a huge windrow, now that I think about it. But I don't know that I'll be able to afford a baler to do anything about it. That's right. I remember now in this version it laid down a fairly hefty size windrow. I don't know in real life that it would be that large. Oh, you know what? This is another area. The last video I talked a lot about some changes I made in the map, some updates if you will. Nothing really earth-shattering, but one of those areas was textures. You know, you see the color of the wheat stalk, and if that's the color of the wheat, then how come this kind of has an orangey type hue to it? So there's probably something there that would need some work, but I'm doing cash crop now. Oh, see, that's something else I need to fix. Maybe. You look behind it there and you see the green color of the windrow in the distance. That doesn't look good. But it does match the field, which is the drill rows, and that's maybe what it's trying to emulate. Oh, sliding off the hill. That's another thing I've fussed with a little bit. I hit her up or down. Down, send her down. Is other types of combines to get in here for these steep hills, you know, that are hillside and keep the separator level. And the trouble is with bringing in mods, anytime you have a highly specialized map like Feldy, where there are new crops and that kind of thing, it means that any mods you take on, they have to be compatible with the map. They have to be able to handle any new fill types, if you will, new fruits. You know, all of them are going to be able to harvest wheat, you know, which is what we're harvesting right at the moment. But what about something like oilseed rape, OSR, or, you know, what about the peas and the potatoes that they have? These weren't standard in crops back in Farm Sim 11. So if you wanted to use mods on those kinds of crops, you had to mod the mod, if you will, download it. And I've done a little bit of this over time. It's just, it can be a lot of work. Once again in this field here, we're threshing it without the benefit of having an ounce of fertilizer on it, so our crop is going to be poor. We're almost halfway full. By all rights, we should have a full tank by now. But when the map was set up, Farmer Yip didn't put any fertilizer. Oh my word. I may have to flatten this out a little bit in the editor. Yikes. Yeah, my header, I think, was scraping along the ground, so it didn't want to conform kind of as it went around. So we're not going to get the best crop result that we could have if we had fertilizer, but I think when we get through the mission that we were on up there, we went up to visit the sheep. We looked at mission number 2. If we give the sheep enough food to eat, we can not only have them create wool, which we can sell, but if we have enough wool in the bank or in storage, if you will, it will open another gate down on Kelp Island, which is kind of kitty corner over there. And once we have access to the kelp beds, we can start making our own fertilizer. We might even be able to use it as fertilizer. That part I don't recall, but I kind of think that's how it is. That the kelp itself is a fertilizer, and then later there will be another type of fertilizer we can make as well once we get into the mine up there. So it's just, I don't know, it's pretty cool to me. I know I said this kind of at the get-go, that this map was far ahead of its time, and it's still ahead of many of the maps even in the latest version of Army Simulator 22. And we have way more bells and whistles now on the newer version, than we had kind of in this older version. And you look at it, the textures aren't nearly as good. They improved the game engine over time, so things would render better, and so we see it. We see a difference between the two, but in terms of raw creativity put into a map, Feldy had a truckload of it, and just ingenious design by the map creator and those that helped him do it. Alright, I got one loop around. Is that enough to... Let me see. What's the shape of this here field? Let me zoom out. Always fun to know where to... Tell you what, let me take one more down here. Take one more pass. Then I'm going to hire it and get him busy. And it must have been later versions of Farming Sim where you could turn the chopper on or off. Isn't that, there's a choice now where you can either drop a windrow or you can shred it to pieces out the back, you can chop it. But this here, I'm just looking at the input bindings up there on the F1 menu, and I'm not seeing it. You can start, stop, harvest, lift the cutter, you can bring out your unloading auger, turn it on, off, so forth and so on. But I don't see anything to, well, let me see. If I hit G, will that move me? Nope, that doesn't do anything. Well, that'd be some more modding to do if I was really ambitious, and I'm not sure that I am. What is wheat going for? Ooh, Oh, I got a little bit of work to do here anyway. Let's get him out. Empty tank to continue threshing. Thank you so much. Okay, let me just look at the prices here. Wheat, and we're playing on hard mode. Wheat at the brewery is $4.40. At the mill is $4.40. Let me see, is there another one? Well, we don't really have much of a choice now, do we? So either the brewery or the mill. Where are the brewery and the mill? Okay, grain mill, that must be down south, if you will. Brewery is up in the village, that must be. Okay, they're both about similar distance, if you will. So, oh yeah, we gotta go unload him. Okay, we're gonna go take care of this and put it in the biofuel processor. And we'll keep... Are we saved by the bell again? Let me at least get this up there to the biofuel processor. We're just going to cut the corner off here. This field has been harvested, so we're not driving over harvested crop. We'll get this up here. Farmer even left open a section of hedge, so it's normal to come in out of the field right there. I would take it. So we'll get this over here and keep this cranking. Oh. Oh, Jiminy. Oh, will you look at that? I ran myself out of fuel. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a fine kettle of fish, so... Well, that dog isn't going to hunt, so I'm going to need to figure something out here. What a perfect place to end an episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'll try to get this figured out. I may have to cheat and give myself a little gas in the save game file. But I'll try to get that figured out so I can come back in here and keep this game going. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. Y'all have a wonderful day.